Добър ден на сите. Good day to everyone. First of all, I would like to give a very warm welcome and a very big round of applause to our Prime Minister and President of ВМРО-ДПМН, Mr. Christian Mickoski. Welcome to the IYD Freedom Forum in Skopje. Now, as hosts, I would also like, from an official capacity, to give a very warm welcome to all the delegates who have traveled from all over the world to be here at this very important event, and a big round of applause for them for coming here. Welcome. We are currently in what I believe is the main point of the agenda of this wonderful event that has been going on for 2 days now and finishing today. And I'm honored that today I'm sharing the stage and moderating with the Prime Minister and President of ВМРО-ДПМН, Mr. Christian Mickoski, Ms. Eva Dohalova, Chairman of IYDU, Mr. Daniel Brown, Local Director of the CAS Office, and Mr. Sergei Popov, President of the Youth Forces Union of ВМРО-ДПМН. Without further ado, I believe that we have many interesting speakers today, and I would like to immediately get into the meat of the discussion. And I will start first off with Sergei, who I would like to ask, as President of the Youth Forces Union of ВМРО-ДПМН, how do you see our role in helping young people navigate today's challenges and in preparing the next generations in the country?
Thank you, Todor. Respected Prime Minister and leader of ВМРО-ДПМН, Mr. Christian Mickoski, distinguished guests, dear friends. Today, on behalf of the Youth Forces Union of ВМРО-ДПМН, it is an honor to speak in this panel on current local and global affairs and to focus on what matters most to us, how change is felt in the everyday life of young people in our country. Our message is simple: when youth has a seat at the table, hope returns nationally. In a very short period in the government, ВМРО-ДПМН started to turn many of its youth commitments from the electoral platform into concrete measures in education, employment and participation. At the national level, the restructuring of institutions towards a dedicated ministry dealing with social policy, demography and youth opens the door for more focused youth policy and better coordination with local self-government. But the real test of every strategy is what happens in the municipality, in the schoolyard, in the student dormitory, in the local labor market. That is why the victories at the latest local elections are not only a partisan success, but a generational opportunity. Across the country, our Youth Forces Union won more than 100 council mandates, more than double the result from 2021 local elections, which means that in dozens of councils there are now many more young people and youth-minded councillors shaping local budgets, local programs and local development. This is political power translated into better streets, better schools and better services for young families. For the first time in history, our youth organization can also proudly say that we have 3 members of parliament coming from our Youth Forces Union of ВМРО-ДПМН. For that, I would like to personally thank to our Prime Minister and leader of party, Christian Mickoski, for giving his trust in us to bring positive change and improve the life of every young person within the temple of democracy. This is not only a symbolic breakthrough, it is a structural change. It means that the voice of the local youth councils, of students' organization and of municipal youth offices can travel directly from the neighborhood to the national parliament. It means that when we speak about youth participation, we can show real faces, real mandates and real accountability. On the local level, our councils and mayors are already working to connect youth policy with everyday needs, from supporting local youth and student initiatives to cooperating with schools and universities and aligning with national measures that aim to keep young people here by improving employability and creating better prospects at home. Through these local bodies, young people have more channels to influence decisions in education, culture, sports and entrepreneurship, in line with the broader national youth Strategy and the European Youth Agenda. Additionally, our government implemented concrete support measures that truly make a difference. Every student enrolled in national or private university received a voucher of 250 euros specifically for buying IT equipment, ensuring digital readiness in modern education. The renovation of student dormitories has further enhanced living conditions for youth across the country. We have also improved employment prospects for young professionals, including the employment of 600 medical specialists who strengthen our healthcare system. To aid young families, the state launched the project Buy a House for Young People, where the government covers part of the bank installment rates, helping to make home ownership more accessible. In addition, our project Young Farmer initiative supports youth in agriculture by awarding 10,000 euros to anyone who establishes an agricultural business, promoting rural development and the retention of young people in the countryside. As youth, we do not only want to comment on global affairs, we want to prove that in Macedonia, responsible local governance can be the answer to global uncertainty. If we use this new strength, more than 100 council members, 3 MPs from our ranks, and a government which has put youth again at the center of its program, then we can reverse the trend of young people living by making every municipality a place where they see a future. Our generation is ready to take that responsibility, together with our partners in the government, with our mayors and councillors, and with other 3 MPs. We will push for a Macedonia in which every young person feels that politics works for them, not only in Brussels, but first in their own streets, their own school, and their own council hall. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your remarks, Sergey. And I think what you just said just proves that young people in the country have a true partner in ВМРО ДПМН, and that has been the case, is the case currently, and without a doubt will continue to be the case. I would like to follow up with another person who I consider a partner of young people in the country, Mr. Daniel Brown, representative of the CAS, and not just of the youth in the country, but I believe that CAS is generally a very good partner of young people everywhere. As a person who has been active in international politics for about 7 years, I think I've seen the CAS logo almost everywhere I've went, and that is not a few places. So if you could outline for us what CAS is doing, how the CAS office is helping young people, but also helping our center-right family grow and develop in the region, in Europe, but also outside of Europe, as it is doing so well right now. And through a CAS perspective, but also through your own eyes, can you just give us some of your remarks on political developments currently going on in the world? Thank you.
Thank you, Turo. First of all, thank you for being invited to that very high-rank panel. Dear Mr. Prime Minister, it's an honor to be with you on this panel, but also with the youth forces. And Eva, we know each other as she's a former CAS colleague. So it is a very nice opportunity to introduce a bit about our activities. Yeah, the young generation is one big target group of CAS, not just in North Macedonia, but also worldwide. I believe the youngest ministers of the current Macedonian government are former CAS scholars. Timcho Bucunski, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Stefan Andonovski, the Minister for Digital Transformation. That shows that our work has, on long run, but also sometimes a short run, an impact, and that we can contribute to the development of a country, and especially to our EPP partner parties. This year was a very, very nice year for us in this country. We had our 25th anniversary of the very foundation of the Konrad Adenauer Foundation here. The Prime Minister was one of our keynote speakers. The chairman of CAS, Professor Norbert Lambert, was here. I think almost half of the parliamentary group of ВМРО ДПМН was among the audience, half of the cabinet. That shows what kind of appreciation we are having here, and I'm very happy that we have achieved this level of collaboration that we have, which we don't have in any country. now at the end of the year, it's almost 5 years that I'm the director here in the country. And when I started, to go a few, Christian, we had one of our first meetings. I remember it was COVID time with masks, a very interesting time also in that case. It was a long way. And practically the harvest was last year and some weeks ago that we could work together. CAS could contribute to Wimmer Diplomat in a time when a lot of people would question, why you are working with Wimmer Diplomat? This is a party you shouldn't support. And I think this is one also of the key questions today in politics. It doesn't matter what somebody tells you publicly or if you are attacked because you have a certain political stance. If we are convinced about something, if we are convinced about our values, about our political approaches, then we must stick to that. It doesn't matter what others say, and our path and our strategy did pay off. And that is the most important thing, not just here, but worldwide. Maybe you have witnessed the last weeks in Germany was a big debate because our chancellor said something about a certain picture in the cities because of illegal migration. He was harshly attacked, even attacked in a very disgusting manner. But at the end, when we have seen the surveys in Germany, the vast majority of the citizens did agree with him. It doesn't matter what the media did report or if we have worked incidents. It doesn't matter. I think we as center-right parties, movements, and especially youth forces, we must stick to what we are believing, what is the right thing for our countries and for our people. And CAS, we are not a political party, but we have certain values, and that's why we are collaborating with certain parties. It does not mean that we are agreeing on anything. Sometimes we have some debates, but among friends, that is the best way how to find the best solution for anything. And that is the strategy of CAS worldwide, that we have partners, we try to contribute, to support, to give advices, but sometimes also to support the structures. We have every year, for instance, here, 10 scholarships that people are receiving, not a few of them to people from Youth Force, from Wimmer Diplomat. That is our way to contribute and also to give the skills to go to the debate with the political opponent. I don't want to call it enemy. Maybe that is a too harsh word, but we have opponents that have sometimes a complete different picture of society and state as we want. And we have our picture. And I think it is worth to fight for that and not to be intimidated because sometimes the media is attacking us in a way that is not very nice. But if we can't stand that, then maybe we should look for another occupation. That's as simple as that. And I think the Prime Minister and all active politicians here in the room know what it means to be attacked because you may have a minority opinion, but you still stick to it. And that is something that I would like to leave you also as a message because you are all engaged in your respective countries and political organizations, that it is worth to stick to your opinion and to your political goals. Of course, democracy means compromise, but compromise does not mean to give up on anything. And we have a very polarized political climate worldwide, especially in Europe. You can go to Germany, you can go to Austria. I think there's not a big difference. In all major countries, we witness now a situation that a decent debate sometimes is impossible. But also that is something that we should keep maybe as the more reasonable ones as a strategy for us. We are not like the others that we paint the others in the darkest colors. You are the Antichrist or the devil because you are not, in my opinion. This is not the political approach of a democracy. But to say you are wrong because I have the better arguments, this should be our approach. And for that, CAS is working. We have our workshops. We have our trainings. And I think we are quite successful with that. Still, we are running more than 100 offices all over the world. In Germany, we have local offices. used to work long for a local office in one of the smaller Eastern German federal states. And if we are disappearing or if we stop our activities, who else should do it? Yeah, a political party has to fight in the parliament and has to look for political power. But this, let me say, intermediate level, where we want to form our future generation of politicians, where we want to give advice, we want to give training. This is something that is run by CAS, and I think on that we're doing a good job. Of course, sometimes it is also the personal relationship. When the personal relationship is good between a CAS director and the local leadership, then it's even better, but it shouldn't be just about that. And at the end, this is what CAS is all about. And of course, you all should know, we are completely financed with German taxpayers' money. Practically, the German taxpayer is my boss. So, and that is something we must know. And on the other hand, how CDU is performing in elections is the matter how much money we get, because we are depending highly on the performance of our close party. So we have a mutual interest that we together are successful. But we shouldn't be shy to say we have a biased approach. We are not a neutral political organization. We are Christian democratic, we are center-right. And that is our stance, and for that we will fight for all the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. And Eva, I would like to continue with you as a former CAS employee, but currently as chairman of IYDU. And the question I have is how, from the perspective of an organization like IYDU, how can international youth organizations strengthen cooperation, exchange, and support for young people facing rapidly changing global circumstances? But I just wanted to rephrase it currently, and not how can, but how is IYDU doing this, please?
Thank you so much, Todor. Before I answer your question, I would like to say a huge thank you to you, Prime Minister, and to Todor and Sergei. This is my 5th year in the board, now as chair, but also before as Secretary General and as Vice Chair in IYDU. And this is by far one of the most and best organized events, and we are really, really happy to be here. And I would like to give a round of applause for all of you for hosting us here. So for many of you, maybe IYDU is not so familiar because I think we've never hosted an event here. So allow me to say just a bit of some words what it is. So we have over 100 member organizations in around 80 countries. We've been founded in 1981. Fun fact, even 2 years before the IDU, our mother organization. And we really, it's the global alliance of center-right, conservative, Christian democratic youth wings of parties. So, in Europe we are affiliated with EPP and ECR, but in the whole world we have partners, and our goal is to show basically people and young people, in our case, the benefits of global cooperation, talking not just to your neighbors, but going to the whole world basically and see. I would like to answer one point that I forgot also. We heard yesterday about Damian, he gave a good presentation about the youth forces, and I was so impressed that, you have 3 MPs in the parliament, and also I think you mentioned 80% of the local, councillors and people active in local politics have their background in the youth forces, which is also very impressive, and we don't see this all around the world like this. So the first thing we really do and we really want to strengthen is the knowledge transfer, and this means that we don't just exchange with ministers and politicians like we do here, but we also do workshops on, for example, campaigning. We exchange our views on different policies, a common enemy in some cases. We have Nara here who's from Ukraine, and also Nicholas was from Georgia. We heard yesterday at a really interesting panel, what we face right now in this world, and also that the youth is affected by this, but not just affected, but very active in fighting against all these dangers that are, in this world. So the second one is the global network that we have. I mentioned around 100 members in 80 countries, which, when you know these people like we are here, the distance becomes so small. For me, I have daily, it's such an amazing thing to have America, etc. And what we try to do to show this perspective to everyone who joins these events. So we really want to show that, okay, as I said yesterday also in my speech, so this freedom and this democracy, it's not given. It's not something that, we fought for it for a long time, but we have a lot of people in, let's say, Africa and South America who daily, fight for these things. And I have really great memories about, people telling me, wow, how far you've come in Europe to be able at least, even to say what you think without going to jail. And I don't have to go, to Africa for this, but, Nicholas, he knows day to day how it is to not be able to say what you think. And I also want to underline what I was saying with Kaz. So he already mentioned I worked for 4 years in the Kaz office in Vienna, and this is a time that shaped me really dearly. So thank you. And also thank you. So my personal relationship with Kaz is this, but also this global network. We always joke, I'm from a small country, from Austria. We always joke that Kaz has more offices around the world than Austria has embassies. So we really, and in my day job, I'm the international secretary of the Austrian People's Party, which is, the leading party. We met the Prime Minister also at the EPP Congress, Mr. Stocker. But Kaz for me means also, on random cases when I get emails from, let's say, the Philippines, and somebody says, oh, we would like to join IYDU. I have no chance but to call the Kaz office there to see if who these people are, and if they would even, fit to us. So this is my 2 points, and the final point is I always like to, address IYDU also as the biggest friendship group in the world, because we might have the same challenges, but we come from different backgrounds. But in the end, we can just exchange and learn from each other and don't invent everything new. But thank you.
Thank you, Eva. Mr. Prime Minister, now my attention turns to you. And once again, I would like to thank you for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule. So when seeing the room full of young people, I think one of the main points we want to hear about you is how do you view the role of youth, and from a bottom to top level. Let's start with the party, the country, the region, and Europe in a wider sense, the world in general. But then also, you have been leader, head of government for the past 1.5 years, and rather than being a passive bystander, you have taken a role of an active stakeholder. And I believe that the position that our government has had in global issues has been more and more influential in the past 1.5 years. Rather than nodding in processes, we're actively taking part. And apart from youth engagement and youth challenges, we would also like to hear your positions on current global affairs, and what do you think are the perspectives moving forward?
Thank you, Todor, for this nice introduction. I wish you very welcome in Skopje to all of you. I heard that you had very sincere and very productive debates during the past days, and hopefully also today you will have a very productive debates. And some messages that I heard today from this debate are something that is very, very important, and something which is a core of our party politics. And what is the core of our party politics? Youth, youngsters. If there is a party without youth, then this is a party without core. And it's not a real question when this party will disappear. It's a question not whether, it's a question when that party will disappear. we are very proud that we have very, I would say, offensive youth. And we support that youth because we count on that youth to be our successors in the future. Sergei mentioned that we have 3 MPs, which are part of our youth leadership, and more than 100 city council members. Yes, that's true. Giving a chance to the youth, to the youngsters, means that you are giving a chance to the future. Otherwise, you will lost your way, and as I said, probably you will disappear from a political scheme. For example, within my cabinet perimeter, I'm circled with the young people, starting from my protocol, ending to my chief of staff. All of them were either or are still either a part of youth or been leaders of our youth organization. For example, Isabella, who is a part of my cabinet, she's still member of the leadership of our youth. Vladimir Nevolsky, who is the chief of my staff, he used to be a president of our youth forces organization. And when you're circled with that type of people, which are ambitious, offensive, constructive, ready to work, ready to learn, then you are progressing as well, because those are your inspiration. And when you are inspired, then you are moving things forward. Otherwise, you are going backward or you are stagnating. That's why when I was thinking what I should say today, my first message was, and my appeal to all of you, because one day you will become a leaders, senior leaders of your parties, create youth. Because if you don't have youth, I will repeat once again, it's not a real question whether. The question is when you will disappear. That's why develop and give a chance to your successors. Second thing that I would like to say today as a message is from the boots of a professor, because in my previous life I used to be a university professor. I mean, I'm still, but now I'm temporary in politics. I'm not a political animal like most of my colleagues from all over the Europe and the world. I used to be a university professor, and I must say that last years of my job were full of disappointments, my personal disappointments. You will ask me why. Due to the reason that a lot of my students, when they finished with the university education, decided to leave the country, to depart from the country, to move abroad, without clear idea where to go and what to do. I'm teaching mechatronics, which is maybe not a big deal, but it's a bit of synergy between mechanical, electrical engineering, and computer programming. I had similar experience in my past. For example, when I was in Italy for my master, in parallel, I prepared my master and I worked in one boutique in a beautiful province called Umbria. When I finished, then I came back home. For my PhD, I spent a couple of semesters in beautiful Thuringia. Daniel knows Thuringia very well, in one small but nice and very competitive university called University of Ilmenau, and a couple of semesters of another university, Aachen. When I was there, I decided to learn about mechatronics, but as well to start learning about machine learning. That was a beginning. That was beginning of nowadays called artificial intelligence, which is a very fancy word. Everybody is using this word, artificial intelligence, big green deal, etc., etc. Unfortunately, a lot of my colleagues are using those words, but they are not aware about the real substance, the real meaning of those words. Then I decided to accept fuzzy logic as an algorithm to control manipulation robots. Why I'm saying all of this? Because that was something new, not only for me. That was something new for my professor, Torsten Bertram. That was something new for humanity. 20 and some years afterwards, it's a fancy word. When you are beginning something, you don't expect miracles. Miracles are not possible. If you believe in miracles, then you will be not able to convey reality. You will be not able to live reality. That's why sometimes somebody around you creates a perception of things which are not doable and which are not real. What you are watching on Instagram, what you are watching on TikTok is not the reality. This is something that someone wants to exert pressure on you and create a false reality. Then, young people from my country in the past, I hope that this is not anymore an option for the current youngsters, watching all of those videos and reels, filling their travel equipment, suitcases, and they are deciding to depart from the country to go somewhere with unknown or with uncertain future. Years will pass by, and when you will see yourself in the mirror, then you will ask yourself what you've done. Whether you will be able to answer on that question, I'm not sure, because probably you will not have an appropriate answer on that question. Therefore, natural life of developing things is something which is essential, especially for the center-right-leaning political parties. We must foresee and we must create a good plan, step by step, how to shape our future. Again, I will recall on something what I've said, miracles are not possible. If someone is conveying miracles, then he is lying to you. This is not possible. Don't believe in miracles. Third thing that I would like to convey as a message today is save your dignity. Don't be double-faced. Unfortunately, you will be circled with a lot of people who are double-faced. But if you are not double-faced, then you have your dignity, which is the best thing of your character that you can have. And this is something which is very important, not only for your future, but as well for the families that will be a part of your lives. And this is the fourth message that I would like to convey today. Maybe someone will challenge my message, maybe someone will judge me, what I will say now, but family is the most important element in your lives. Children, a lot of children. Is something that will shape your life. Because without a lot of children, your life will be empty and probably selfish. Please share with your environment everything. let the share be a part of your behavior. Because if you share, then you will be able to learn what family means, not only to you, but to your nation. Unfortunately, nowadays, not only in my country, but elsewhere in Europe, there is a small part of the society which are negative to everything, which are neglecting everything. I'm labeling that part of society as a bottom of the society. They don't have usually answer on the second question. First question is attack. This is not good. That is not good. This is not good. But if you ask them, okay, tell me, how can we do this better? Then the answer will be, this is not my job, this is your job. This is the bottom of society, and they are creating a very big tension in the society. That tension exerts pressure on the youngsters, and not all the youngsters are resilient on that type of environment, and this is additional reason why to depart from the country and to go somewhere without any clear idea. We must be resilient, and we must defeat that part of society. Usually, those are populists. And populists are not an option for one nation. They are a snapshot. And that's it. They don't have an idea, they don't have a clear message, neither a vision. Usually, they are catch-all politicians, from far left to the far right. Depends on the interest, depends on the daily issue. And that's why they are anti-mainstream, and that's why they are creating that type of environment to believe what they are saying. But if you dive into the substance of their, I would say, very simple messages, then you will be able to see that they are empty messages. And that's why conservatism and right from the central leaning is something which is a future. And I do believe that you all which are here believe that right from the center, political behavior and conservatism is a future of European continent, but I'm talking about humanity in general as well. If one nation is not working hard, especially small number as mine, Macedonian nation, is not working hard with the devotion, with the focus, and with the clear milestone where we will be 50, 100 years from now, that nation will disappear. And this is something, what is the real problem of this generation and your generation as well. Because if we underestimate challenges that will occur 50, 100 years from now, then we are not visionaries. We are not right from the center politicians. We are daily politicians and we are populists. Therefore, my last message will be fight and think on the things that will shape humanity and future of your nation. Otherwise, you will lose yourself and you will become a daily politicians. And I don't believe that this is your ambition, neither your idea, not for this organization, but general for the future of European continent and for the future of humanity overall. Therefore, Todor, I tried to be as short as possible to convey on a short way long stories. I wish you, to all of you, very fruitful and very successful event today, and joyful night. Probably night is more adequate than day. Sergey, what do you think about this? You agree. Indeed that you will agree. Super. Let's work together and let's have a successful event. Thank you for the attention.
Dear Prime Minister, thank you very much for your wonderful remarks. And I believe with that, it's a good note to close this panel discussion and go towards our break. On a practical note, I would invite IYDU people, delegates, to come up to the scene so we can have the family photo that we have on the agenda. And thank you very much once again to all the speakers. And we're looking forward to completing off the day in a successful manner. Thank you.